In this video, we will talk about the top 10 worst scammers in the world. Scammers have been around for centuries, employing various deceitful tactics to defraud individuals and institutions out of their money and assets. This discussion will cover the top 10 worst scammers in the world, providing detailed accounts of their schemes, the impact of their actions, and the eventual outcomes of their fraudulent activities. Each section will be presented in simple wording to ensure clarity and understanding. 1. Bernie Madoff. Bernie Madoff is known as one of the most notorious scammers in history due to his massive Ponzi scheme. He started his own investment firm, Bernard L. Madoff Investment Securities LLC, in 1960 and over the years built a reputation as a successful financier. Madoff promised his clients high, steady returns on their investments with little risk. However, instead of investing the money, he used new investors' funds to pay returns to earlier investors, creating the illusion of a profitable business. This scheme allowed him to accumulate billions of dollars over decades. The truth came to light in December 2008, when Madoff confessed to his sons, who then reported him to authorities. The impact of Madoff's scam was devastating, with losses estimated at $65 billion, affecting thousands of investors, including charities, retirees, and major financial institutions. Many victims lost their life savings and were left in financial ruin. Madoff was arrested, and in 2009, he was sentenced to 150 years in prison, where he died in 2021. His scheme is a stark reminder of the importance of regulatory oversight and the need for investors to exercise due diligence. 2. Charles Ponzi. Charles Ponzi is the man behind the Ponzi scheme, a type of fraud that lures investors with the promise of high returns with little risk. In the early 20th century, Ponzi promised investors that he could double their money in 90 days by exploiting international postal reply coupons, which he claimed could be bought cheaply in Europe and sold at a higher price in the United States. In reality, Ponzi was using money from new investors to pay returns to earlier investors rather than investing in the coupons, as he claimed. This scheme allowed Ponzi to amass millions of dollars in a short time. However, the scheme collapsed in 1920 when the Boston Post investigated and exposed the scam. Thousands of investors lost their money, leading to widespread financial devastation. Ponzi was arrested and sentenced to prison, and after serving his time, he was deported to Italy. He spent his later years in poverty. Ponzi's scheme became a textbook example of fraudulent investment operations and highlighted the need for better regulatory mechanisms to protect investors. 3. Elizabeth Holmes. Elizabeth Holmes, founder of the health technology company Theranos, is known for her fraudulent practices that promised revolutionary blood testing technology. Holmes claimed that Theranos devices could perform a wide range of tests with just a few drops of blood, revolutionizing the medical testing industry. Her claims attracted significant investments, raising over $700 million and valuing the company at $9 billion at its peak. However, it was later revealed that the technology was unreliable, and the company had manipulated test results to deceive investors, doctors, and patients. The inaccurate test results from Theranos put many patients at risk, leading to incorrect diagnoses and treatments. In 2018, Holmes and former CEO Ramesh Sunny Balwani were charged with massive fraud. Holmes was convicted in 2022 and sentenced to 11 years in prison. The Theranos scandal underscored the importance of due diligence, transparency, and regulatory oversight in the biotech and healthcare industries to prevent similar frauds. 4. Alan Stanford. Alan Stanford orchestrated one of the largest Ponzi schemes in history through his financial services company, Stanford Financial Group. Stanford promised high returns on certificates of deposit, CDs, from his offshore bank in Antigua, attracting investments from individuals and institutions. However, instead of investing the funds, Stanford used new investments to pay returns to earlier investors and to fund his lavish lifestyle. His scheme amassed around $7 billion before it collapsed in 2009. The impact was devastating, with thousands of investors losing their savings and facing severe financial hardship. Stanford's arrest and subsequent conviction in 2012 led to a 110-year prison sentence. His case highlighted the need for stringent regulatory oversight and the importance of investors conducting thorough due diligence. The Stanford Financial Group scandal serves as a grim reminder of how greed and deception can lead to catastrophic financial losses. 5. Enron Executives. The Enron scandal, involving top executives of the Enron Corporation, is one of the most infamous cases of corporate fraud in history. Enron was once a highly successful energy company, but behind the scenes, its executives engaged in widespread accounting fraud. They used complex accounting techniques and special-purpose entities to hide debt and inflate profits, misleading investors and regulators about the company's true financial health. This deceitful practice led to a massive increase in Enron's stock price, attracting more investments. However, when the truth was uncovered in 2001, Enron's stock plummeted and the company declared bankruptcy. The impact was enormous, with over $60 billion in shareholder losses, thousands of jobs lost, and a significant loss of public trust in corporate governance. Key executives, including CEO Jeffrey Skilling and Chairman Kenneth Lay, were prosecuted. Skilling was sentenced to 24 years in prison, and Lay died before sentencing. The scandal led to major reforms, including the Sarbanes-Oxley Act, which aimed to improve corporate accountability and protect investors from fraudulent practices. 6. Robert Allen Stanford. Robert Allen Stanford's Ponzi scheme via Stanford Financial Group sold fake CDs, defrauding 18,000 investors of $7 billion. He was arrested in 2009 and sentenced to 110 years. The case highlights the need for regulatory vigilance and investor due diligence. 7. Frank Abagnale. Frank Abagnale, a master con artist in the 1960s, posed as an airline pilot, doctor, lawyer, and professor, cashing millions in fake checks. Captured by the FBI, he later helped prevent fraud. His story inspired Catch Me If You Can. 8. Barry Minkow. Barry Minkow founded ZZZZ Best, a carpet cleaning company used for a major Ponzi scheme in the 1980s. Valued at $200 million, it collapsed in 1987, costing investors dearly. Minkow was jailed, became a pastor, and then reoffended. His story warns of unchecked ambition and greed. 9. Jordan Belfort. Jordan Belfort, the Wolf of Wall Street, ran a 1990s stock scam via Stratton Oakmont. Using pump-and-dump tactics, he defrauded investors of millions. After serving 22 months in prison, he became a speaker and author. 10. Lou Pearlman. Lou Pearlman, the music mogul behind NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys, ran one of the largest Ponzi schemes in U.S. history. He created a fake company, Transcontinental Airlines Travel Services, and falsified financial statements to attract investors. Pearlman promised high returns, using new funds to pay earlier investors and pocketing money for personal use. In 2006, his $300 million fraud was exposed, devastating many investors. Arrested in 2007, he was sentenced to 25 years and died in prison in 2016. Scammers like Bernie Madoff, Charles Ponzi, and Elizabeth Holmes have left indelible marks on history due to the scale and audacity of their fraudulent activities. Each of these scammers employed deceitful tactics to exploit trust and greed, resulting in financial devastation for countless individuals and institutions. The cases of these top 10 worst scammers underscore the importance of regulatory oversight, transparency, and due diligence in financial and investment activities. By learning from these historical examples, individuals and institutions can better protect themselves against future scams and fraudulent schemes. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. Also, subscribe to our channel before you go. Thank you for watching.